This is Jason. We're at the Fireball booth. I'm pretty excited. I'm kind of fanboying out right now. If I'm being honest.
Coverage of the Sema show is sponsored by Fortis HD and Mueller Coops. So go buy some tools at fortishd.com.
I'm sure some of you guys, some of our viewers have seen Jason. They probably subscribed to his channel, Fireball Tool. I'm really excited to meet you and talk about the tools and Fireball Tool in general and just have a good chat. So.
I'll give you a little history on how I got started. I'm a welder fabricator by trade, and in 2016 or so, in that whereabouts, I had this idea in my head to help me with my fabrication. Basically, I sketched it out on a yellow piece of notebook lined paper, this shape, and sketched it out, and I took some rough measurements off of it, and I had a friend had a plasma table and had him cut me out some plate steel.
Yeah.
And for that very first prototype, welded it together. From there, that's what started my company. Started selling to my friends and family, and sold out really well. But I always knew deep in my heart, because I love old tools, that I wanted them to be cast, because I think it looks better, it looks professional, and I want them machined because I'm a perfectionist, and I'm lucky enough to have a foundry in my hometown of Spokane, Washington. So one morning at 6 a.m., on my way to work, because I was doing double jobs at this time, I stopped by and knocked on the foundry's door. And a young man opens the door and says, "What do you want?" I go, "Can you make this?" And I held him up my square to the camera because it was a fabricated part. I literally stuck it in the door and said, "Can you make me this?" He's like, "Come on in." And that's kind of how we got to where we are.
Wow.
And I started a pretty good partnership with my local foundry, but that started one more big problem. How do I sell them? And so that's what led me down to my path of YouTube. The only way to sell my tools is I gotta get in front of the camera and take all my nervousness away, because I'm a welder. You know, I'm not in front of the camera.
I've always been a big fan of the channel. Just the tools you build, everything you can tell is a labor of love kind of thing, right? Like each piece that you make, there's a reason this tool exists. I don't know if there's any particular tool that you're proud of in this collection, or...
Oh my gosh.
I'm sure you got a soft spot for your first.
You know, it hasn't changed since that original drawing, and it still works today. There's just been subtle changes. There's tools that I use every day that I kind of took for granted, kind of like the combination square. I looked at it and go, is there any way we can improve it? And then I just start thinking about it. How do you use it to check your welds after you've welded something? Let's give ourselves a corner. How do you keep it calibrated? Let's add some screws. How does the scale read? These are specialty scales that I've had made, and 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4 starts from one end to the other.
It's not flipped.
It's not flipped.
It's not flipped.
So like this one is flipped backwards.
Yep.
It's like, let's just fix simple things that bug everybody and make everybody's life easier.
Oh, 100%.
That's kind of my motto. So every little tool has that little bit of influence of, let's just take something simple and let's modify it to really be better. Say, why does this tool exist? Is there something better? Can there be an improvement to everything? So, okay, maybe I don't need to reinvent the wheel, let's just improve it.
Yeah.
So, and I kind of look at everything that way.
Tons of stuff in the booth. There's a few things that really stuck out to me.
Yeah.
The vise, we'll get to it later. I want to talk about that, but the bar clamps, that was one of the other things I wanted to chat about.
Yeah,
what made you come up with the bar clamp?
If I wanted a half clamp, I would cut a C-clamp in half. Okay, literally just take it to the saw and cut it, and then weld the other existing part down to the table or piece of plate steel and use it that way. And I'm thinking to myself, if I have to cut a tool in half, wouldn't you think there's a better idea here? So I kind of came up with an idea of a hybrid system, because I like bar clamps, and 1x2 rectangle tubing is available, and it's also really strong. So I looked at that and go, let me make an arm that slips over the top. I know they already make arm or bar clamps kind of similar to this, but not quite. I go, I can now weld this piece of steel to the table, or if I make a foot for the other end, I can now make any length bar clamp I want. I can flip these around and push or pull with them.
You'll find more uses for it than just what's advertised on the box kind of thing, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then the long screw was really important to me also because it seems like you're always right at the end of your screw and after you've done
short
pushing.
Little screw half the length of that. You bottom it out. You got to undo it and whack it back. And
Yep. There's a lifetime warranty on it too. So if it just fails I'll replace it. So it's pretty special.
Yeah. It's the out of the box thinking that I think we're big fans of. I think a lot of people on YouTube and just in general, a lot of people that are in our industry are
so I'm listening. If you guys got improvements to the current tools or have something you guys really want made that'll help you in your job, let us know. I can probably help you with that.
Tell us about this thing, just because it's been sitting in the table here and I've been looking at it.
Yes.
It's just a monstrosity of a corner fixture,
this is this is the biggest version. I have a smaller version of this. So this is a 3-axis square, but what makes it really special, so this kind of looks like a guy that's kind of squatting. It's kind of a funny looking shape. Yeah. But the current models have a flat bottom to it. It's a solid piece of metal that hooks the legs together. Okay. The problem with that is that when you go to set it on a table, your work is now elevated off the table, and you have to shim them out as you extend out. And I'm like, is there a better way to do that? So this design kind of came to life. Now you can put your material on the inside. So technically this is the inside. Yeah. And outside. Oh, yeah. So this is always a really tricky weldment, or you just want to weld this perpendicular to the surface and come out here and hold it. Yeah, look at all this weld accessibility around here.
Oh, you can fit right in there easy.
Oh, it's just
it's perfect. Doesn't give you like the little tiny relief.
No, there's no clamps in the way. I'm really not a believer of those fancy clamps. They just add extra cost. Yeah. And I'd just rather just use something like this mantis plier to clamp to it. It's got magnets on the bottom that are replaceable, so it just kind of gives you just a little extra grip on the table. And then there's some pins that you can add, and it'll drop right into a fixture table. This will accept up to 4-inch tubing.
I remember watching your videos, and you came out with the Fab plate. What do they call it again? The small, the modular plates, and you kind of have to dial them in and whatnot. You could make any size you want. Yep. Right, and then this is kind of. Do you still offer those?
I don't support that system anymore because of the user having to fiddle.
Yeah. So they got to fabricate a table. They got to put the adjustments in there. Yep. They got to level it all themselves. Yeah.
Yep. So what I've learned is I want everybody to have this nice big shiny table right behind me, but I know a lot of people can't afford that table. Yeah. So the best solution is to give them the Fireball Mojo, but just in this little smaller package. Yeah. Trick to this is that when you buy the small table and get started, that when you do want to upgrade or expand, all the tooling fits. So as you decide to grow and combine, you can eventually get to there, and all the money you've spent back here on the small stuff fits over there. So you could use this table as a fixture on that one. You could extend that one as an extra surface.
Oh yeah, like you can actually use that table, I guess technically you could make like a vertical.
You can make a vertical wall, you could bolt it to the side of that one. Yeah. So all the money you've spent earlier is not wasted.
It's about getting like a good bang for your buck out of your product, right?
So the other idea is I'm going to let you, the customer, outfit these tables as you want. Yeah. Which I mean, I know everyone's on a price budget, but you can buy just this top platen by itself. Then you can say, hey, I'm on a budget, I just want the platen, I'm going to build my own legs. But if you don't want to build the legs, you can buy them separately. You can buy all the side trays separately and start kitting it out as you go and make it your way.
And it's all 2-inch center, 5/8 or 16 mil?
They're all 2-inch centers, 3/4.
3/4.
Yep.
Okay.
So 3/4 I feel is the best hole size. It's the best hole because if you have a small table, the 3/4 works. If you want to jump up to the big table, the 3/4 works.
And these are cast as well? Or?
These are all cast iron. Yeah. I call this the Dragon Wagon, and they're 1/2 inch thick. And that's where you get the money savings because you jump up to the pro tables, they're 1-inch thick. Okay, yeah. And these are coated with dragon scale. So it'll help you with, if you live in a high humidity area and you're worried about your table rusting, this coating will help you with
like
that.
The wet coast? Everything always rusts where we're at.
Yep,
so
yep.
We call it Alberta Chrome.
Alberta Chrome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Alberta Chrome.
That's a good name for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we like the tables. They're definitely, and honestly, like, cause I've looked at them a few times, like price point wise, like that's more than reasonable for the quality you're getting too, right? And I mean, we're a heavy equipment channel, but fabricating, welding, heavy equipment, it all goes kind of hand in hand. It's not a workbench, so you're gonna drop shit through the holes. Man, you can't beat having a good, solid fab table. That's sweet. I think we touched enough on the fab table and all the accessories and whatnot. I think we'll kind of segue over to the vices.
Let's do it. Let's
talk about that, because that was a big one for us. We were talking about it earlier.
Let's talk vices.
Let's talk vices.
Okay, so here at Sema Show, we do a little fun game, and we like to just show how easy it is to get high numbers or how precise a vice can be. So we set up a little game to where you spin the wheel, it's going to land on a number, and then you're going to try to guess what that number is, because we have a load cell inside the jaws, and we can all see the number, but he can't.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll hide it from him, and then we'll all kind of watch to see how close he can get.
Okay, so I'm gonna give her a spin. 12,000.
Okay, so he's gonna have to get 12,000 pounds by guessing just by feel.
By feel. I don't know, man. I feel like I'm like way off or
Pretty close? What do you think? Pretty close?
I think I'm like
You're within 1,000 pounds. That's pretty
like
dang good.
11-ish, 100 away. Yeah, it's not bad. That's better than my first attempt. My first attempt, I used like, I was like less than half, I think, but
Yeah.
I kind of got a feel for it now.
Most people always go over.
Yeah.
I think they really have to refine.
The problem was I had watched his videos on it, so I knew how easy the vice spins and how much force it can get. So I was like, oh man, I'll get it like bang on. I've watched you.
Yeah. So the highest number I've seen on this vice is like 35,000 pounds.
That's insane.
It can get those numbers because it has thrust washers,
Yeah.
thrust bearings inside here, and then you can see by this cool cutout how the screw pulls all the way from the back of the vice. So the nut is actually attached to the back.
Why do we got it mounted vertical? That was the other thing. Like
mounted vertical. Because we're at a automotive trade show, one of the best things to use a vice for is actual press. And this is built to be a press because you can use that back jaw to like rest the part on as you press.
Like the size of these vices they're monsters, man. Like if you need a big vice in your shop, like, I mean, this is the biggest one that you guys have?
Biggest one.
I mean, that's a massive unit, man. Like if you really need to hold something, that's great. For us in the trucks, we're out in the field. I talked to Jason about this earlier. I said, hey, I love the vice. It's sweet. I wish I could run one. I can't fit that on the back, even the small one, I can't fit on the back of my service truck. And he's like, well, good news. Like you guys are looking at coming out with something.
Yep, the guys that are in the field need a good strong vice, probably more than anybody, realistically. So I want to develop, I'll probably convert this vice into I call like a little pup. Move the base plate back a little bit so you can mount it on a bumper. Yeah. And get most of the head and the vice kind of sticking out the back of the truck. Because you can always swivel the vice around. Make a actual truck vice. Yeah. I think that's really important for everybody. So everything about the vice is designed to be kind of hit with a hammer, even though I don't want you to hit the vice with a hammer. Yeah. Sometimes we just got to do what we got to do to get the job done, and that's really what's important. Yeah.
We're idiots with this stuff. I stick a cylinder in there and I pull on it with my crane. I'd be happy to try one out if you guys ever come out with it there. Yeah, we'd definitely love to see it. That's the Fireball booth at SEMA 2023. We were really stoked to meet with you and talk and chat.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys out there and take care.
See you soon.
See you soon.
Buy some parts, FortisHD.com. Buy some rubber tracks, FortisHD.com. We have it all. Buy some tools, Mueller Coops. We got some fun new stuff coming too. Check it out.
Are you an experienced heavy-duty mechanic thinking about going on your own? Click the link in the description to fill out the form. Tekamo, your heavy equipment support network.